Okay, forget your usual internet animal stars for a second. There's a new sensation, and honestly, she's just tiny, incredibly shiny, super round, and seems to blush pink.
You're talking about Moo Deng, right? The baby pygmy hippo.
Exactly. Moo Deng. Her little face has basically melted the internet.
It's amazing, isn't it? And, it's fantastic visibility for a species that really, really needs it.
But here's the thing that gets me. You look at this adorable little creature, Moo Deng, and then you remember hippos, like hippos.
Right. The thought immediately hits you. How on earth is this tiny, seemingly gentle animal related to one of the most dangerous, most aggressive land animals in Africa? It feels like cognitive dissonance.
That's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to compare the two hippo species that are still around.
Yeah.
The pygmy hippo, like Moo Deng, and the huge common river hippo.
Yeah, trying to understand how these two, sharing this ancient lineage, ended up so wildly different. One, this absolute behemoth feared across Africa, and the other, well, a shy forest dweller.
It's fascinating because, despite the millions of years and the massive size gap, they still share that unmistakable look, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. That sort of prehistoric vibe. The huge, rotund body, that incredibly wide mouth, almost looks like a grin.
And the whiskers, plus those tusks that just keep growing, instantly hippo.
And they both have those core adaptations for water, even if one spends way more time in it than the other.
You mean closing off the ears and nostrils?
Exactly. That ability to just seal everything up and vanish underwater for, what, up to 5 minutes?
5 minutes. That's pretty incredible. A clear link back to some ancient water-loving ancestor.
Definitely. It's a powerful shared trait.
Let's talk about something else they share, especially the babies like Moo Deng. That incredible shine. They look almost polished.
Yeah, that radiant glow, right? It looks sort of glossy.
It really does. And it's not just like water or oils. It's something they actually produce.
That's right. It's this oily secretion, often called blood sweat, because it can look reddish pink at first.
Blood sweat. Okay, sounds a bit grim.
Well, yeah, but its function is crucial. It acts like a natural sunscreen, protecting their skin.
Sunscreen, okay. But it does more.
Right, oh yeah, much more.
Yeah.
It's also got potent antibacterial properties. Think about it. They spend a lot of time in warm, muddy water. Perfect breeding ground for nasty bacteria.
So it protects them from skin infections too. That makes sense.
Vital for survival, really.
But here's a puzzle. If they're both mostly nocturnal active at night, hiding during the day, why do they need such powerful sunscreen? Seems like a waste of energy if they're avoiding the sun anyway.
That's a good point, but it's tied to heat and moisture. A big river hippo has to spend most of its day like 80% submerged just to stay cool.
Right, their skin dries out really fast otherwise.
Exactly. It cracks, they overheat. So that secretion, that sunscreen, buys them time if they need to move during the day, or even just rest partly out of the water.
And for the pygmy hippo, they spend less time in water.
Right. For them, it's probably more about protection when they're just chilling in a shady thicket, maybe not fully submerged. It still helps prevent dehydration and sun damage during those daytime rests.
Okay, that makes sense. And when they do come out, maybe in the evening to eat, they have that rather unique way of marking their territory.
Ah, yes, the famous dung shower.
It sounds kind of funny, but it's serious business for them, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. They are masters of, let's call it, scent dispersal. They whip their tails around like little propellers.
While pooping.
While pooping, yes. It scatters everything, spreading their chemical signature far and wide. It's a very clear keep-out sign.
And that keep-out sign means very different things depending on which hippo is posting it. Which brings us to the river hippo's reputation.
Yeah, we really need to stress this. People think lions, maybe crocodiles.
Not the river hippo.
Consistently ranked as the deadliest large land mammal in Africa. We're talking around 500 human deaths a year. That's huge.
On par with crocodiles, actually.
Exactly. They are incredibly dangerous.
And just look at their equipment. Those tusks. They're not just for show.
Not at all. They're specialized canine teeth, razor sharp, interlocking, and can be over 1/2 meter long, like giant switchblades, basically.
1/2 meter. Wow. And the bite force.
It's immense. Something like 3 times the force of a lion's bite. If they clamp down, it's devastating.
And they're fast, too, right? That's the bit that always surprises me. They look so bulky.
Deceptively fast. On land, they can hit speeds of, like, 30 kilometers per hour in bursts. That's easily 3 times faster than the average person can run.
So no chance of outrunning one.
None. And they're quick in the water, too.
What makes them so aggressive, though? Is it purely territorial?
Territoriality is a huge part of it, yeah. They fiercely defend those dung-marked areas, but their social structure adds another layer.
They live in big groups, don't they? Unlike the pygmy hippo.
Right. Common hippos live in herds, usually 10 to 20, but sometimes these groups can swell up to 150 individuals.
That sounds crowded.
And unstable. There's constant jostling for position, for breeding rights, for the best spots in the water. This leads to frequent clashes within the herd itself.
So they fight each other, too, not just outsiders.
Oh, absolutely. Inter-hippo violence is common, and it can be lethal, especially between competing males. So they're basically primed for aggression, ready to challenge almost anything they see as a threat, whether it's another hippo, a croc, or, unfortunately, a person in a boat.
Do they give warnings, at least?
Sometimes. You might see that huge mouth-gaping display showing off those mouth daggers, or hear loud grunts, maybe some head shaking or aggressive splashing, but they can also attack with very little warning.
That inherent aggression and toughness. It didn't just make them dominant in Africa, did it? It led to that bizarre situation in Colombia.
The cocaine hippos. Yeah, it's an incredible and troubling story. It perfectly illustrates how their traits can make them incredibly successful invaders.
Pablo Escobar's pets, basically.
He imported a few for his private zoo. After he died and the estate fell apart, a small group escaped into the Magdalena River system.
And they didn't just survive, they exploded.
The conditions were almost perfect for them. Plenty of food, warm water year-round, no dry season to limit breeding, and crucially, no natural predators. Nothing could stop them.
Becoming the world's largest invasive species.
Exactly. And their impact is significant. Their sheer weight compacts the riverbanks, causing erosion.
And all that dung.
It changes the water chemistry, huge amounts concentrated in areas which can lead to algal blooms and harm fish populations, disrupting the whole local ecosystem.
Wow, so that's the river hippo. Powerful, dangerous, ecologically impactful, even invasive. Now, let's switch gears completely to the other side of the family coin.
The pygmy hippo, like Moo Deng.
Yeah.
And the contrast is just stark.
Totally different lifestyle, right?
Completely. Forget the massive brawling herds. Pygmy hippos are mostly solitary. You might find them alone or maybe in a pair.
And if they meet another one, no big drama.
Generally, no. Maybe a quiet grunt. Then they just carry on. They're very docile compared to their cousins.
And incredibly shy, too.
Extremely reclusive. They live in the dense forests and swamps of West Africa, and they are notoriously hard to find or study in the wild.
So most of what we know comes from zoos.
A lot of it, yes. Observing them in their natural habitat is really difficult because they're so good at hiding.
And they're not as water-bound as river hippos.
Not nearly. They spend much more time on land. They use water, streams, and pools to cool off and bathe. But they spend the day hiding in dense vegetation in thickets on the forest floor rather than submerged in a river.
Just quiet forest dwellers.
Exactly.
But that quiet life, that reliance on the forest, it actually makes them really vulnerable, doesn't it?
It does. Their reclusiveness is their defense, but it depends on having that dense forest cover. When logging or farming destroys that habitat.
They've got nowhere to hide. Their populations suffer badly.
Precisely. And that's where someone like Moo Deng, even accidentally, becomes so important.
Her internet fame bringing attention to their endangered status.
Exactly. It shines a much-needed spotlight on the conservation challenges facing pygmy hippos and the threats to their forest homes.
It's incredible how these two species could diverge so much. You said they split, what, about 4 million years ago?
Around that, yes. And the physical differences that evolved in that time are just staggering.
Let's talk size again. The common hippo. Huge.
Massive. Over 2,500 kilograms. Second only to elephants among land animals.
And the pygmy hippo.
Tiny in comparison. Around 200 kilograms, maybe a bit more.
I love that analogy we found. A big male river hippo weighs about the same as 6 male polar bears.
Yeah. And a pygmy hippo, about the size of a 1-year-old baby polar bear.
That really puts the difference into perspective, doesn't it? It's not just a little smaller, it's a whole different scale.
And their anatomy reflects their lifestyles perfectly. Look at the river hippo again.
Eyes, ears, nostrils right on top of the head.
Like a built-in periscope, right? Allows them to stay almost totally submerged, hidden, but still aware of what's going on above the surface.
Perfect for river life. Plus, those stubby legs and webbed feet.
Ideal for walking on riverbeds, and the water supports their immense weight. They spend, 80% of their lives in water. Their bodies are built for it.
Now, the pygmy hippo, totally different setup.
Completely. A rounder head, eyes more on the sides like you see in most land mammals.
And their legs.
Longer, more slender. Their toes are more separated, less webbing, and they have sharp nails. all adaptations for moving easily on land.
For climbing banks, navigating tangled forest floors.
Exactly. They're built for agility in the jungle, not for lounging in deep water.
So how did this happen? How did one branch of the family get so small and land-focused? There's a theory, right?
Yeah, the main idea revolves around something called island dwarfism.
Okay, but wait. They live on mainland Africa. How does island dwarfism apply?
It's about ecological islands, not literal islands surrounded by water. Think of the Pygmy hippo's habitat, that dense patch of West African rainforest.
Okay.
For them, it is an island. It's surrounded by habitats they can't really live in, like savannas or the ocean. They're isolated within that forest patch.
Ah, I see. So the forest itself acts like an island, limiting them.
Right. And environments like that often put pressure on animals to become smaller. One reason is food availability. It might be harder for a huge animal to find enough food consistently in a restricted forest area.
Makes sense. Less food favors smaller bodies.
But maybe an even bigger factor is heat regulation. We touched on this earlier.
Right. Big animals generate a lot of heat. If you're living in a hot, humid rainforest and not spending all day in the water.
Being massive is a disadvantage. It's hard to stay cool. A smaller body size makes it easier to manage heat in that specific environment.
So the forest environment likely favored smaller hippos over millions of years.
That's the leading theory, but it leads to that classic evolutionary puzzle.
The chicken or the egg?
Exactly. Did the environment, the hot, isolated forest with limited food, force one lineage to shrink and adapt to land life?
Or did some hippos already have traits, maybe slightly longer legs or better heat tolerance, that allowed them to thrive in the forest, leading them away from the water and reinforcing those land-based adaptations over time?
It's hard to untangle cause and effect looking back millions of years. Did the habitat shape the traits, or did the traits determine the habitat choice? Probably a bit of both, interacting over time.
What a fascinating journey, though. From the huge, aggressive, water-loving river hippo, this territorial force of nature.
All the way to the small, shy, land-focused pygmy hippo. So different, yet undeniably linked by that ancient look and lineage.
It really shows the incredible adaptability within just one animal family, doesn't it? How one species can become one of the most dangerous animals on a continent.
While its closest relative is endangered, reclusive, and comparatively gentle.
And think about this. One species, the river hippo, is so dominant and aggressive, it became this major invasive species halfway across the world purely through its own resilience.
Yeah. While its smaller cousin, the pygmy hippo, is so vulnerable that its conservation hopes are now partly pinned on the viral fame of one cute baby in a zoo.
Moo Deng. It highlights the incredibly complex and often contrasting roles humans now play in the future of both these fascinating animals. One we fear and fight, the other we adore and try to save through internet fame.
It's a really striking contrast to think about, isn't it? Aggression leading to global spread, while gentleness relies on us noticing, a powerful reminder of our impact.